Chai Shui and Yu Qian said that they were shocked when Lefeng Dantu, worth tens of millions, was thrown into the garbage bag. In front of the ward, Lu Fanla, who got the systematic reward, grinned and left Fongdan, which is the legendary Zhuyan Dan. In women's eyes, it is a luxury dream to maintain an ageless appearance. So many female stars spend a lot of money on hyaluronic acid and cosmetic surgery, but they still can't escape the curse of aging. However, Lefangdan can perfectly delay aging and keep youth forever. However, Lu Fan soon felt that the atmosphere in the corridor was not right. He looked up and saw two pairs of eyes staring at himself, angry or surprised. Xiaoxua, what are you doing here? Why, Uncle Yu? Lu Fan saw Yu Qian not far away, surprised. And Yu Qian's reaction changed again and again. His valuable Lefeng Dantu was collected as garbage. It's rubbish. Some people treat it as rubbish. It's like eating the heart of a bear. But when he saw the man's face, Yu Qian was stunned. Little brother? Isn't this Lu Fan who helped himself? But then came surprise and bewilderment. How can someone who can afford to drive a Ferrari take this garbage bag here? Is this picking up garbage? Just thinking about it, Lu Fan stepped forward with great enthusiasm. Uncle Yu, are you here to see a doctor? I think you are very strong. You don't look sick. Lu Fan looked at Yu with sincere eyes. In fact, he just heard the word garbage at the door, and then saw the wooden box, so he picked it up simply. Who knows? But it is regarded as garbage by the system, which is unexpected by Lu Fan. After seeing the change in Yu Qian's eyes, he vaguely understood who the owner of the wooden box was. But now, he has to take the initiative. No way, the wooden box was swallowed by the system father. Oh, little brother, it's really a coincidence that we met here. What's your head? Yu Qian is politely concerned. Lu Fan shook his head and said, it's okay. I was hit by a car. Then he looked back at Chai Shui. Chai Shui coughs awkwardly. She suddenly feels that the situation is going to get out of control at any time. Brother Fan, can you give me back the wooden box you just picked up? Chai Shui hesitated for a while, but she couldn't help saying it. In addition to her medical skills, Lu Fan also likes to pick up garbage. She has seen this before, but she didn't expect Lu Fan to pick up what he saw. Lu Fan sighed in his heart. Is the embarrassing moment still coming? He forced a smile to turn around and asked, Xiaoxua, what do you say? Wooden box. Snow embarrassed way. Wood what? Wooden box. Oh, I didn't pick it up. Lu Fan didn't know what kind of willpower and face he used to talk to Xiaoxua. Chai Shui looks at Lu Fantang. But the emperor's ignorance of the East and the West makes Lu Fan's image as a miracle doctor in his heart. Seriously questioned, is this really my brother Van? Chai Shuamu is full of confusion, doubt, and helplessness. Cough, little brother, there is monitoring on it. Yu Qian said behind Lu Fan and pointed to the top. Lu Fan's shoulder trembled, and he said in secret that life is always a pit. He just climbed up and fell in. At the critical moment, Chai Shui suddenly thought of something. She grabbed Lu Fan's hand and said excitedly to Yu Qian, Uncle Yu, don't you invite a doctor? Brother Fan is better than my grandfather. Chai Shui pushes Lu Fan, who is holding a garbage bag in her arms, to Yu with a serious face. Yu Qian has a bit of toothache. Xiaoxua, are you teasing Uncle Yu? I know little brother Lu Fan. He really loves to do good deeds and is worth a lot of money. But how can he be cured? At this point, he was a little angry. Chai Shui shook her head and said, Uncle Yu, you look down on brother Fan. He's a miracle doctor. Miracle doctor? Yu Qian looked at the bandage on Lu Fan's forehead, and he didn't believe it. Doctor, do you still get to see a doctor in the hospital? Chai Shui is dumb. Lu Fan was not satisfied with the speech and explained, Uncle Yu, I'm a miracle doctor, not an immortal. I was hit by a car. Even Lu Fan believed it. Yu Qian snorted, still not believing. Little brother, you'd better take out that wooden box. The pictures in the box are my life-saving things. Lu Fan face embarrassed to say. To be honest with you, the picture is gone, but there are finished medicine. How do you think? Then Lu Fan took out a black pill from the bag, like a mud pill. Huh? Yu Qian stared at the pill and murmured, Little brother, I admit that you have helped me, but you can't be so disgusting. Uncle Yu, to be honest, is this the mud ball you rub on your body? Lu Fan's face turned black. God's special clay ball. This is the famous Zhuyan Dan. Lu Fan was speechless when he was regarded as a dirty thing. Chai Shueli, who was recently away from Lu Fan, saw the extraordinary quality of the pill. A refreshing fragrance came into her nose. She had the idea of swallowing the pill into her stomach. Even Chai Shui was startled. But look at Yu Qian, you can't smell it. Lu Fan sees the change of Chai Shui's expression in his eyes. He knows that only women can smell the fragrance of Lu Fang pill. Uncle Yu, is anyone ill in your family? I really know a little about medicine. I can have a look at it for him. Lu Fan still thinks it's better to take the initiative. Yu Qian still doesn't believe it. He can't blame him. He has met too many senior doctors. Even if he knows how to do it, Lu Fan is not in his consideration. Lu Fan is helpless and looks at Chai Shui. The latter smiles and pulls Yu Qian to the ward. 1 minute later, they came out. At this moment, Yu Qian is still in shock. Looking at Lu Fan's eyes are full of expectation and excitement. Little brother, I really didn't expect that you were so accomplished in medicine. Yu Qian held Lu Fan's hand tightly and kept shaking. The indescribable mood is surging. Lu Fan quickly backhanded grip, while Yu Qian's hand suppression. Uncle Yu, don't get excited. It's hard to say if you can watch it. I'll try my best. After all, Lu Fan can't stand by because he owes so much to others. With you, it will be cured. I believe you. Yu Qian is full of confidence. But he has never heard that he can cure cerebral hemorrhage with acupuncture. I'm afraid even Chai Yuqing doesn't have this kind of medical skill. Haha, I'm a little flustered when you say that. Lu Fan doesn't know what the old man is like. Chai Shui gathered in front of Lu Fan and encouraged him. Brother Fan, I'm waiting for your good news. Lu Fan helplessly handed the pill to Chai Shui. I gave it to you, but this is Lu Fang pill. In the last sentence, he deliberately lowered his voice. Yu Qian heard it, but he didn't like it. Rubbing clay balls is rubbing clay balls. He knew how to cheat a little girl. Chai Shui is flattered to wrap it up with a tissue and doesn't want to refuse. Chai Shui is so careful. Yu Qian is surprised. Can you say that this clay ball is really a Lu Fang pill? But he didn't think much and took Lu Fan to the first municipal hospital in a hurry. But Chai Shui is very hard. She always suggests that she should not take the pill, but the fragrance makes her swallow. Brother Fan, is it really Lu Fang pill? It's the pill that my grandfather always wanted. Just at this moment, Mr. Chai's call came. Grandfather, why do you call it this time? I'm at work. Chai Shui muttered. There was a big laugh on the other side. Xiaoxua, how about a few minutes delay? If your hospital dares to punish you, it will report your grandfather's name and see who dares to scold my granddaughter. The owner of the voice is Chai Shui's grandfather, Chai Yuqing. Grandfather, you can't do that. I don't want to rely on you. I'm on my own, Chai Shui said coquettishly. Well, Xiaoxua is the most ambitious in our family. But my grandfather didn't call to tell you this. Did Yu Qian come to you? Chai Yuqing suddenly changed the subject. How do you know? Chai Shui was puzzled. Oh, you don't see who grandfather is. As long as it's related to his wife's family, he just farts. I know that. Chai Yuqing's tone was a little proud and angry. Grandfather, keep your voice down. I ask you, did Yu Qian leave you a picture of Fangdan? Did you take it? Chai Yuqing asked in a low voice. How do you know that Uncle Yu gave it to me, but I confiscated it? What? You confiscate it? You dead girl. Grandpa is waiting for them to bow down and take out this picture. Chai Yuqing is heartbroken, but Chai Shui looks aggrieved and suddenly says, but grandfather, I seem to have got a Lu Fang pill. The first municipal hospital, VIP luxury ward. Generally, people at the leadership level can live here. It can be seen that Master Yu's identity is unusual. Lu Fan just walked into the ward and smelled a strange smell. It seems to be a kind of decadent spirit, which is only found in old people who are going to be old. Then he saw a thin old man on the bed. He has silver hair, old age spots on his face, and the tendons on his arms and hands are very obvious. There were also several doctors in white coats beside the hospital bed, all of whom looked highly respected, but their eyes are helpless and sorry. At the same time, beside the old man, there was an old woman with gorgeous clothes and fair skin. Although her hair was full of silver and her face was covered with wrinkles, she had a kind face. The old woman held the old man's hand tightly on the bed, and her eyes were full of sadness. Lu Fan guessed her identity. Mom, I've got a miracle doctor. As soon as Yu Qian stepped into the ward, he called out excitedly, like a child who had found money. The old woman stares at Yu and says in a low voice, Keep your voice down. Your father just fell asleep. Yu Yuqian stepped forward and stepped forward. I feel sad to see my father. Mr. Yu, you said you had a miracle doctor. Where is it? A 50 to 60-year-old Western doctor next to him was suspicious. The others also looked at Yu Yuqian. I don't dare to be a miracle doctor. I just came to have a look. Lu Fan came forward with a modest look. What, you? The old doctor widened his eyes and said with a sneer. Mr. Yu, are you kidding? Did you invite a hairy boy to see a doctor? It's too hasty. Master, you can't stand the trouble. Yes, Mr. Yu, you should think twice. Yu Yuqian heard the speech, and suddenly he was angry. Do you have a better way? The crowd immediately shut up. They racked their brains, but they were still ineffective. The old man was terminally ill and had no cure. Lu Fan stepped forward and looked at the old woman. The old woman gave a gentle smile. He looked at the old man. Just a look, then a sigh. Yu Yuqian's heart suddenly suspended. Uncle Yu, why don't you give me a candy first? Sugar? What the hell is this? Yu Yuqian was confused, and the old woman didn't understand. The old doctor and several other doctors all looked strange. Little brother, what are you talking about? Yu Yuqian frowned and couldn't believe his ears. Lu Fan smiles and takes out a round and rolling Snow White sugar pill in his pocket and presents it to the public. Uncle Yu, you heard me right. If you want to cure the old man, you have to eat my special sugar first. The sugar pills Lu Fan took out were not real sugar, but health pills. With that, Lu Fan would feed sugar to the dying old man. Wait. It's nonsense. The old Western doctor and two senior doctors could not help but stop Lu Fan. Lu Fan looked up and frowned. Who are you? The old Western doctor, with a taut face, said angrily in a tone of reprimanding the child. I'm the president of the first municipal hospital. Who is this little baby you are? Master Yueju's organs are failing. You dare to feed him candy. Do you want to kill him? That is, Deanly is right, young man. You think you have a panacea in your hand. And you also eat sugar, whimsical. Mr. Yu, is the miracle doctor you invited reliable? The three questioned Lu Fan's practice. Yu Yuqian's confidence in Lu Fan was shaken when he heard the speech. After all, he only heard of Lu Fan's magical medical skills among the sick people, but he never saw them. Lu Fan looked at Yu Yuqian and saw that he was hesitant. He sighed in his heart. Sure enough, the world of the strong is not understood by ordinary people. He shook the sugar pill in his hand and asked, Uncle Yu, you can decide whether you want to eat this sugar, but I'll make it clear first that the old man's illness can't be delayed. After today, even I can't help it. Yu Yuqian was more anxious after listening, and President Li also timely shut up. What Lu Fan said is true. If there is no miracle, I'm afraid it will not be more than 3 days. The atmosphere suddenly became dull. Just then the old woman spoke. Young man, is there anything strange about your sugar? Her voice is very steady and gentle. It sounds like a warm spring breeze in Lu Fan's ears. Lu Fan turned to look at the noble and cordial old woman and said seriously, Granny, this sugar is not ordinary sugar. The old man's body organs are rapidly failing. The most important thing now is to make up for his strength and hang his life, so that I can make a good diagnosis. Mr. Lin, this young man's words are only half credible. I've been practicing medicine for decades, and I've never seen any medicine that can make up a lot of vitality in a short time. Mr. Lin should be careful. President Li advised him to look at Lu Fan's eyes. He doesn't believe that a hairy boy can be better than him. President Li's mother, Lin Ru, is Yu Yuqian's mother. You've come to this point, young man. You can try it. Dead horse is a living horse doctor. Lin Ru said suddenly. Mr. Lin, think twice. President Li once again dissuaded Lu Fan, who was a little annoyed. Deanly, do you think I'm not liking you? Did I steal your rice? Deanly was rebuffed by Lu Fan, but he said leisurely, Young man, I'm angry. I'm right about things, not people. Die hard, Lu Fan whispered. What did you say? I said old right. Young and old people are more and more unhappy with each other. Come on, don't make any noise, young man. Granny Lin, my name is Lu Fan. Lu Fan smiles gently. Lu Fan, you can cure it. Lin Ru said with a gentle smile that she spoke for the second time, and no one dared to object this time. Good. Lu Fan put the sugar pill into Master Yueju's mouth. Put the sugar pill into the master's mouth and melt in the mouth. However, it will take some time for the drug to work. Next we have to wait. Uncle Yu, do you have anything to eat? I haven't eaten for a long time. Lu Fan sat aside and touched his stomach. Yu Qian seemed not to hear Lu Fan's request. He was puzzled and said, "This is the end of it? If you just eat a piece of sugar, is there any way for other doctors to live? Of course not. It'll take at least an hour." With that, Lu Fan took out the box with silver needles from the garbage bag. He opened the wooden box and revealed the silver needles of different lengths but shining silver. President Li looked at a pile of silver needles in Lu Fan's hands. His face trembled. "What are you doing, acupuncture?" Lu Fan looked at him lazily and said, "Can President Li recognize acupuncture? I admire you." President Li naturally heard Lu Fan's sarcasm and said with a smile, "Little doll, I'll wait and see how you toss." After that, he sat aside and took a cup of tea to drink slowly. The attitude is very arrogant. But Lu Fan didn't like it. He just gazed at Yu Qian. "Uncle Yu." Yu Qian stares at the heart rate change on the monitor and looks at Lu Fan inexplicably. "What's the matter?" "I'm hungry." "Hungry? Oh, I'll get you something to eat right away." Yu Qian just reacted, wiped the sweat on his head, and ran out of the ward. Linru curiously looks at the little guy who carefully looks at the silver needle. With her life experience, she can't see through each other. "Lu Fan, can you tell me how you plan to treat the old man's disease?" Lu Fan felt the crisp air flow on the silver needle, looked up and said seriously, "In my opinion, the old man should have been poisoned by some kind of poison, leading to a great loss of vitality and blood decay. The other two doctors and Dean Li in the distance have ears." "Oh, Lin Ru along poisoned? This is not consistent with the results of the hospital examination. I guess the result given by the hospital should be that the elderly are vulnerable groups. Any small problem may cause a chain reaction of the body, or mental and physical exhaustion, chronic fatigue and disease, causing irreversible aging in a short time." Lu Fan said in a very casual tone. His eyes fell on the heart rate chart on the monitor. The old man's heart rate was very weak. He is a candle in the wind. "Little baby, you are too good at pulling. How could Master Yu be poisoned? Can't our hospital be equipped with those advanced instruments?" President Li interjected. He thought the boy was too good at talking nonsense. Lu Fan turned back and laughed at President Li, saying he didn't want to explain. Linru nodded, and her eyes fell on Lu Fan's silver needle. "How sure are you, young man?" She refers to Lu Fan's acupuncture. Lu Fan looked at Linru seriously and said with a little surprise, "Granny Lin, have you been suffering from poor qi and blood, numbness in your feet and cold legs recently?" Lin Ru smells speech, immediately eyes a change. Surprised way. "You, how do you know?" Lu Fan said with a mysterious smile. "Chinese medicine talks about seeing, hearing and asking. Of course, I can see it. Well, I'll treat you first before I treat the old man." Then he came up to Lin Ru and took out 3 silver needles. "Really?" Lin Ru's voice trembled. Her old cold leg had been treated for many years. She had seen countless famous doctors, but she didn't improve at all. As soon as Lin Ru finished speaking, she felt a numbness in her left leg, and a slender silver needle had been stabbed at some acupoint on her leg. "It's not over yet." The next second, Lu Fan twisted 2 silver needles of different lengths and gently pricked them on Lin Ru's right leg and wrist. The end of the silver needle gently shakes, with Lu Fan stirring, bringing out a virtual shadow. Lin Ru felt a warm feeling in her left and right legs. "So comfortable." Lin Ru exclaimed that her cold legs seemed to be rejuvenated at this time. She had the illusion that she could jump. But Lin Ru's facial expression changed nature also by Li Dean income fundus. Lu Fan's acupuncture really has the effect. Lin Ru's old cold leg has been treated by himself and needs conservative treatment. However, it seems that Lin Ru's appearance has really changed a lot. Is he really a doctor? President Li felt at this moment that Lu Fan's young man was not simple. However, he still did not believe that Lu Fan could cure Master Yu. "Well, Granny Lin, take more walks these days and keep warm at night. In half a month, nothing will happen." Lu Fan pulled out the silver needle and grinned. Lin Ru stood up and walked back and forth in the ward for several circles. Her face was more and more joyful. "Xiao Lu, I am more and more confident that you can cure the old man," Lin Ru said with a smile. "Mr. Lin, I'll have a CT later. Sometimes it's only guaranteed by Western medicine." President Li suggested that as a Western medicine, He has always been skeptical of traditional Chinese medicine. No problem, Deanly. Just look it up. Lu Fan said with a smile. Young people should be modest to be a good guy. Premier Li said meaningfully. Dean, I think you are also ill. Lu Fan stares at President Li's left hand, meaning something. President Li's leisurely face slightly changed. Took back his left hand. Angry way. You are sick. At this time, a light laugh came from outside the ward. Lao Li too. You are not calm. When Premier Li heard about the reputation, he saw an old man in a black tang suit at the door. He didn't know when he would appear. Old Chai, President Li exclaimed. In front of the old man with straight back and hands on his back. He had to be respectful. Lu Fan also looked at the old man, full of doubts. Because the other side is also looking at themselves. The eyes, as if to see some treasure in general. God, this old man is not a pervert. Lu Fan's eyes trembled, and he had a premonition. Chai Yuqing, what are you doing here? One side of Lin Ru suddenly made a sound, and her face was cold. It's Chai Shue's grandfather. Chai Yuqing. In fact, after hearing what Chai Shue said about the Lufang pill, Chai Yuqing rushed to the second municipal hospital and verified it with the pill. Meanwhile, Chai Shue showed him the video of Lu Fan's treatment. Chai Yuqing felt that he was going to be rich in his life at that time. Aru, don't drive me away. I'm not here for you this time. I'm here for the little miracle doctor. Then he came to Lu Fan. Little miracle doctor, let me introduce myself first. I'm Chai Shue's grandfather. Chai Yuqing is a famous doctor in the field of traditional Chinese medicine. If you don't mind, can you show me your acupuncture? Chai Yuqing Yobi introduces himself and looks forward to the silver needle box beside Lu Fan. Several breaths suddenly stopped in the room. Lu Fan blinked, feeling that the thickness of his face was compared. It's incredible that Chai Shue, such a weak girl, has such a fierce grandfather. He has a bit of toothache. Since he joined the garbage collection industry, he has realized that his face has reached a mysterious state that no one can reach. However, when he met Chai Yuqing, he found that he was still too low. No, he can't admit defeat like this. He wants to see his medical skills. Do you think he is juggling? Hello, Mr. Chai? I'd like to introduce myself. Lu Fan is a master of traditional Chinese medicine. He is young and promising, handsome and rich. He loves society and is interested in environmental protection. If you don't mind, would you like to donate some garbage first? Lu Fan pointed to his garbage bag and said with a smile. At any time, you can't forget your major career. Lu Fan always reminds himself of it. When Chai Yuqing heard this, the wrinkles on his face were obviously stiff. He took a deep breath and slowed down. The little miracle doctor is really extraordinary. He is really one of my generation. Chai Yuqing looks at Lu Fan with admiration. Lu Fan replied with a smile. Mr. Chai, you are not bad either. They looked at each other and laughed. In the eyes of President Li, it is more like a meeting between a little fox and an old fox. But he was also very surprised that Chai Yuqing, a semi-reclusive elder, actually came to Lu Fan's acupuncture. For a moment, President Li's eyes at Lu Fan were full of shock. Chai Yuqing, what are you going to do? I came to see you 3 or 4 times before, but you didn't want to treat his father. What's the meaning of coming now? Lin Ru breaks the eye contact between them and looks sulky. Chai Yuqing was stunned and looked at Lin Ru. Her eyes were full of tenderness. Aru, you know the reason why I don't want to talk to you, Ju. If it wasn't for him, we would have, Chai Yuqing said, then excited, looking at the old man's eyes on the bed full of anger. Chai, shut up and talk nonsense in front of me. Lin Ru, with a steady temperament, points to Chai Yuqing's nose and scolds him angrily, which makes Lu Fan confused. Is there something fishy between these 3 people? It's not a love triangle when they were young. Lu Fan bold play to their imagination. Imagine a scene of bloody plot. Chai Yuqing was reprimanded by Lin Ru. He suddenly showed his timidity and begged for mercy. Aru, don't be angry. Don't be angry. I won't say it. Then he took out a small white gift box from his pocket, only 2 fingers wide, and handed it to Lin Ru. Here, it's my apology. Chai Yuqing respectfully said. This appearance makes Lu Fan better and better. Strange Chai Yuqing and Lin Ru relationship. What is this? Lin Ru took over, not angry asked. This has a great future. Have you ever heard of Lufang pill? It's a magic pill that can make women return to their youth. I've worked hard to make it. Chai Yuqing patted his chest and said triumphantly. True or false? Linru, a face don't believe. Carefully opened the small box. A paint black pill present in front of me. At the same time, the fragrance of Qin people reverberates in Lin Ru's nose. Rao is Lin Ru's nature and can't help but want to eat. Le Fangdan? Lu Fan was stunned. This pill is so familiar. He looks at Chai Yuqing with extremely suspicious eyes. But the latter is raising his chin to avoid his eyes. For a time, Lu Fan has a new understanding of Chai Yuqing's cheekiness. Mr. Chai, did you really make this pill yourself? Lu Fan asked tentatively. Of course, otherwise it's still you. Chai Yuqing said with both hands on his back. Lu Fan coughed softly, comforted himself, and said, Forget it. He is an old man. We don't care with him. What's special? Why did Chai Shui meet this old bastard? Aru, take it. If you put it for a long time, the effect will weaken. Chai Yuqing is a good guide. For a moment, Lin Ru was so excited that she wanted to eat. But at this time, outside the door came a shout. Ma, put it down. Then a figure rushed in, grabbed Le Fangdan, and threw it into the garbage can in the corner. Yu Yuqian took his lunchbox in his hand and breathed a sigh of relief. Yu Yuqian's behavior of breaking and suddenly shocked everyone. Lin Ru still kept the posture of taking the pills. Looking at the pills falling into the garbage can, she felt heartache for a moment. Chai Yuqing opens his mouth wider and looks at Yu Yuqian in a puzzled way. His eyes turn from surprise to grief and anger. But Lu Fan is very comfortable. What are you doing? Lin Ru patted her son's head hard and her lips were tight. Yu Yuqian covered his head and frowned. Mom, what are you doing with me? If I didn't come back in time, you would really eat that dirty thing. Dirty things? Lin Ru wondered. That's Lu Fang pill. She knew that her son could take a picture of Le Fangdan. The charming fragrance still lingers in my nose. Mom, don't talk about it. Did Lu Fan give it to you? That's the clay ball he rubbed casually. You believe it too. Clay balls. Lin Ru just doesn't believe it. What clay ball can be so fragrant? After all, however, she did not have the courage to search in the garbage can. Yu Yuqian turned to look at Lu Fan. Little brother, how can you let my mother eat? Before he finished speaking, his eyes reflected an iron-green face. Chai, Uncle Chai, when did you come? Are you finally willing to treat Dad? Yu Yuqian didn't notice Chai Yuqing's face. He was very excited. With Lu Fan and Chai Yuqing, his father may really be saved. Cure a disease, cure a wool. You idiot. You threw the Lu Fangdan to me. I'm so angry. But he worked hard. He was robbed from his granddaughter. He was taken as a clay ball by this fool. It's outrageous. But it's absolutely impossible for him, the leader of traditional Chinese medicine, to pick up the pills in the garbage. Chai Yuqing, my son just said that it was something given by Lu Fan. Lin Ru grasped the key point and asked directly. Chai Yuqing was asked guilty, but still firmly said, Aru, how can you doubt me, Le Fangdan? Chai Yuqing is the only one that has been developed exclusively by Chai Yuqing. Yu Yuqian said that he was a little confused when he heard it. He looked at Dean Li, who also showed a confused look. Cough. At this time, Lu Fan coughed lightly, which attracted people's attention. It's a pity, Mr. Chai. It's a Lu Fang pill. It's very valuable, Lu Fan said with a smile. Chai Yuqing suddenly gave birth to an unknown premonition. Sure enough, the next second, Lu Fan stirred in the woven bag for a while, took out a lacquer black pill, and handed it to Lin Ru. Granny Lin, I have only one left. Don't be thrown away again. Lin Rue as two peas in the past. How can you have it? The fragrance came again. Lu Fan shook his head and sighed. I don't know. It's really strange. Isn't it the exclusive product of Chai Lao? Then he looked at Chai Yuqing with deep meaning. Chai Yuqing's old face couldn't hang up, and his eyes almost ate Lu Fan's. This kid, it's definitely intentional. Lin Ru took a cold look at Chai Yuqing, and then she put it into her mouth without hesitation and chewed it. It's soft, waxy, sweet, and fragrant. It's the most beautiful taste she's ever had. Mom, Yu Yuqian was shocked. This medicine can't be taken indiscriminately. But after eating, Lin Ru didn't feel any discomfort. Instead, she felt warm on her face. Aru, this medicine won't work until later. Chai Yuqing quickly solves Lin Ru's doubts. Who knows? Lin Ru stares at him. Liar. The smile on Chai Yuqing's face suddenly froze. He subconsciously looks at Lu Fan, who grins. How pure is the smile? Good boy. But at this time, President Lee suddenly exclaimed, "Something has changed." They followed President Lee's eyes and saw that the heart rate change on the monitor suddenly had a strong fluctuation. President Lee hurried forward to examine Master Yuju. The inspection was so amazing that Dean Lee suddenly showed a look of hell. Dong, dong, dong. This is the powerful beat of the heart, which grows stronger and stronger, just like the heartbeat of a young man in his 20s. It's impossible. President Lee stood beside the sickbed, then suddenly thought of something and subconsciously looked at Lu Fan. At this time, Lu Fan is sitting on the sofa eating takeout. The delicious fish meal, spicy hot, and a hamburger and Coke stimulate Lu Fan's stomach and make him move his fingers. "Thank you, Uncle Yu." Lu Fanchi's face is happy. Every time he sees a doctor for others, he consumes a lot of energy. He didn't know what Juyang Xianjun had sucked from himself. Anyway, it makes him feel empty every time. God, really God, little brother Lu Fan, your medicine really works. Yu Yuqian was so excited that he didn't even spend half an hour. The vitality of the old man had such a big reaction. Lin Ru quickly walked to the bedside, holding the old man's palm tightly. She only felt that the old man's palm was hot and humid, which was no longer the cold feeling before. "Old man, you are saved." Lin Ru excited tears are out. The old man is still thin, unconscious. Chai Yuqing, who witnessed this scene, sighs in his heart that his status in Lin Ru's heart is not so important after all. He came over and carefully examined the old man's physical condition. Dean Li didn't dare to make a sound. He dared to refute Lu Fan, but he didn't dare to disrespect him. Lin Ru and Yu Yuqian dare not speak. They find that Chai Yuqing's expression is more and more dignified. "Yuqing, how is he?" Lin Ru said in a trembling voice, with a weak tone. Chai Yuqing frowned and murmured, "It's strange that there seems to be a fire in his body, but it's blocked by a strange thing. Yuju has a strong will to survive, so the fire and the strange thing form a balance. Barely hanging his life, but," he said. "But what?" Lin Ru's voice is a little hoarse. "But once the fire is gone, the old man will save his life." It's not Chai Yuqing who talks, but Lu Fan who has enough to eat and drink. People look at him. A lot of takeout on the table at this time has been swept up by Lu Fan. "Do you have 5 minutes?" Yu Yuqian is really surprised by Lu Fan's appetite. "Little doctor, tell me, what is that strange thing?" Chai Yuqing originally came to see Lu Fan. This time, he suddenly became interested in testing him. However, Lu Fan refused to accept him and said, "Why should I tell you? Boy, you have a good temper." Chai Yuqing said with a dry smile, revealing a pair of good white teeth. Besides, Dean Li has seen Lu Fan's aloofness and arrogance. Even Chai Yuqing dares to fight against him. He was vaguely looking forward to what Lu Fan would do next. "Uncle Yu, you go out first. Just leave me and Mr. Chai. I need acupuncture. I can't be disturbed." Lu Fan takes a box of silver needles and says to Yu Yuqian seriously, "Little brother," but Yu Yuqian is still a little worried. Unexpectedly, Chai Yuqing waved his hand and said, "Go out. If you want your father to leave the hospital completely, go out quickly." "Good, let's go." At this juncture, Yu Yuqian didn't dare to refute. He took Lin Ru and Dean Li out of the door. There are only 3 people left in the house. Chai Yuqing rubbed his hands and said with a smile, "Thank you for giving me the chance to observe the ancient acupuncture and moxibustion." But Lu Fan said with disgust, "What do you think, Mr. Chai? I want you to do the auxiliary work of wiping sweat and delivering needles for me." Chai Yuqing's face suddenly turns black. Does the boy take such a respected man as his assistant? There was a feeling of devaluation. However, thinking of the magic acupuncture in the video, Mr. Chai said he could bear it. Lu Fan took out the silver needle in the box and began to put the needle on Master Yueju. From Bai Wei, Taiyong, Xindao, and Yongquan on the top of the head, Lu Fan almost went through most of the important acupoints of the human body. But the order and strength of the stitching made Chai Yuqing feel confused. He even saw the white gas coming out of Lu Fan. Is this the true Qi in the legend? Chai Yuqing frowns. He finds that he seems to have entered the world of martial arts novels. Just when he was stunned, Lu Fan said in a pale voice, "Old Chai, wipe sweat." Chai Yuqing reacts and sees that Lu Fan is really sweating. But after dozens of injections, he is so tired. And Yu Moment's breathing on the bed suddenly became short at this time. There was a dark air on his thin face. But it was not obvious. Chai Yuqing can't save you, Ju. But it seems that Lu Fan can. He quickly took out the paper towel on the table to wipe the sweat between Lu Fan's forehead. Oh, Mr. Chai, your service level is not good. It almost wiped my eyes, Lu Fan muttered and shook his head. Chai Yuqing was so angry that he wanted to slap Lu Fan in the face. He is a leader in the field of traditional Chinese medicine. He was fooled by the boy in front of him. That's all. He dares to dislike it. Lu Fan put the last silver needle into Master Yu's abdomen, which was a relief. Mr. Chai, do you want to learn? When Chai Yuqing heard the speech, his depressed mood suddenly disappeared. He quickly said with a smile, Little miracle doctor, can I help you? Create Lu Fan said with a smile. Yes, of course. Do you know that this set of acupuncture is called Fushi Bagua, 12 forms of acupuncture? I have studied hard for more than 20 years before I learned Xiaoqing. I think you have enough qualifications. You should get started after 10 years. When Chai Yuqing heard this, he only felt toothache. How can he study for more than 10 years? He is in his old age. He has to count his days with his fingers. How about learning acupuncture? Boy, don't bluff me. I know a lot about acupuncture. It's just about acupoint manipulation. I've been learning it for more than 10 years. You should practice it. I said, is your acupuncture useful or not? If you can't cure it, I won't let you off first. Chai Yuqing snorted angrily. The boy just made fun of his sincerity. Lu Fan noncommittal smile, pointed to the silver needle on Yu Moment's body, said, almost. Chai Yuqing looks at Lu Fan in surprise and goes forward to give Yu Ju a pulse. At this moment, the black air on Yu Ju's face disappeared. His face turned red, and his breath became smooth. A pulse, strong and powerful, the original strange thing is gone. Well, really well. Chai Yuqing was so surprised that he couldn't close his mouth. In Lu Fan's mouth, the 12 Fu Shi 8 trigrams acupuncture really pulled Yu Ju back from the edge of life and death. At the same time, his heart is also feeling. Although the heart of the past, but people are old. Some things really should put down. After all, he was very happy that Yu Ju could live. Chai Yuqing tries to pull out the silver needle, but there is static electricity between his tentacles. He quickly stops. Mr. Chai, this needle belongs to the master. Lu Fan said triumphantly that Chai Yuqing couldn't bear it. He rubbed the tissue into a ball and threw it directly at Lu Fan. If Chai Shui saw this scene, she would be surprised that her invincible grandfather would also be shriveled. Lu Fan pulls out all the silver needles. Chai Yuqing finds black blood beads on the tip of the needle. Is it poison? Chai Yuqing was shocked, and he immediately guessed the reason. Lu Fan also looked dignified this time. Yes, this kind of poison is very tricky. If it wasn't for the silver needle in my hand, I'm afraid the old man would be helpless. Then the toxin was removed by acupuncture. Lu Fan's acupuncture technique is not half careless. At this time, Chai Yuqing's eyes changed when he looked at Lu Fan. He put away his startled look and said seriously, Little miracle doctor, I'm sure I'm right. Your medical skills surpass me. I don't know how much I know. It's true that there are people outside the world. There is a day outside the world. I thank you for your old friend. After that, he will bow to Lu Fan. Lu Fan quickly held Chai Yuqing and shook his head. Chai, I can't be worthy of your worship. Life is bigger than heaven. Since I have the ability, I have the responsibility to save people. Good, good, with medical skills and medical ethics. Good posterity. Chai Yuqing said excitedly, Little doctor, are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? I happen to have a granddaughter. I think you can meet each other. Then the old man was not serious again. Lu Fan drew back his hand with a dry cough and said in silence, It's still important to see a doctor, old man. Just then, a weak voice sounded behind them. Why do I seem to hear the voice of old Chai? When Chai Yuqing hears the words, he suddenly becomes stiff and turns around slowly. The old man Yu Moment on the bed was struggling to open his eyes and mumbled something. Yu Ju, wake up, old dog. Lu Fan looks at Chai Yuqing strangely and almost laughs. Chai Yuqing, with a black face, comes up to Yu Eju, poor Master Yu Ju, who has experienced life and death, finally wakes up and is almost scared to death by Chai Yuqing's old face at first sight. Awake? Chai Yuqing shows 2 rows of good teeth and says with a smile. Yu Moment blinked and took a deep breath. His voice trembled. Old Chai dog, Are you also dead? When Chai Yuqing heard the words, he immediately understood something. He said with a smile, "Old thief you. Because you have done something bad. The king of hell came to me to confront you and asked you what you have done. I'm sorry. I know I'm sorry for you. People say I've put a green hat on you. But it's only after Aru broke up with you that I dare to pursue her. I won't regret this in my life." Moment closed his eyes, as if he had accepted his fate, and said, "If you have any evil consequences, come on. Labor and Aru have lived a lifetime. It's worth it. Old dog, labor doesn't owe you." That posture, as if a strong man broke his wrist, resolute and decisive. Chai Yuqing's breath was unsteady when he was hurt by you. Ju. His fingers were trembling when he pointed. To you, Ju. He wanted to talk, but stopped. Finally, he threw his sleeve and scolded. "You have seed. Old thief you hum." But at this time, the door of the ward opened, and Lin Ru and Yu Yuqian rushed in. They've seen it in the surveillance. "Lao Yu, it's so nice of you to live." Lin Ru burst into tears, and Yu Yuqian was even more excited. "Aru Qian or Yu Yu?" Yu Ju was confused. At this time, he finally realized that he was not dead at all. Looking at this scene, Lu Fan suddenly felt that he was not very tired. He went to Chai Yuqing, patted the latter's shoulder, which was stirred by anger, and comforted him. "Old Chai, since ancient times. He has been affectionate and has spare time to hate. You should learn to put it down. Go away." Chai Yuqing dumps Lu Fan's hand. "Dad, your illness was cured by this little doctor." Yu Yuqian held Lu Fan's hand tightly, as if he was afraid that Lu Fan would run away. Yu Yuqian told Yu Ju the cause and effect, and then Master Yu Ju suddenly realized. He held Lu Fan's hand excitedly, and said excitedly, "Dr. Lu, I must repay you for saving your life." Lin Ru also nodded beside him and said, "Yes, sir, if it wasn't for Xiao Lu, you wouldn't have been able to save him this time. Don't treat him badly." When Lu Fan heard the speech, he waved his hand and said, "Don't worry, Master Yu. I'm an old acquaintance with Uncle Yu. How can I let go of your illness? It's all a matter of lifting a finger." On one side, Yu Yuqian saw Lu Fan so modest and appreciated his eyes more and more. There is no shortage of people with ability in this world, but there are few people with ability who are not arrogant and impetuous. This kind of person can certainly achieve great things. Yu Yuqian quickly echoed and said, "Dad, I think we'll give our villa number 10 to Dr. Lu, and we can take care of him." He knew that Lu Fan was not short of money and had a car, but his house was only 5 million. Lin Ru nodded in favor. "Old man, Xiao Lu said that you only fell ill because of poisoning this time. If you let Xiao Lu live there, you don't have to be afraid that someone will harm you." You moment as the leader of Jinan Group, although unlimited scenery, but also full of risks. When they said that, Yu Yuqian frowned, shook his head, and said, "No way, ah?" Lin Ru and you are surprised. But Lu Fan is indifferent. Just listen to Yu Yuqian say, "Not enough? Send Villa, enough? I have a big gift to give to Dr. Lu." "Big gift?" Lu Fan raised his eyebrows. He was very mysterious. "What's the big gift?" Mr. Yu didn't have time to say it. President Li said he would give Mr. Yu another comprehensive inspection, and the results show that the old man's disease seems to really improve step by step. Moreover, the rate of improvement is extremely fast. Really, really good, until out of the ward. Dean Li and the other 2 doctors are staring. "Can't believe it. You know, an hour ago, Master Yu was a dying patient." See Lu Fan carrying a garbage bag in the hospital corridor. Next to the garbage can around, President Li and 2 doctors walked past. "Comrade Lu, what kind of medicine did you give the old man, and what else?" President Li, Lu Fan, is eager to study Lu Fan's medicine. He is now extremely sure that it must be Lu Fan's medicine that has magical effect. What acupuncture is nonsense. Lu Fan shook his head and said, "No, just one, no more." President Li looked disappointed. He also expected to make a breakthrough in some major discoveries. However, a middle-aged doctor with glasses nearby was dissatisfied and said, "How can it be gone? You can't say that on purpose, young comrade. Medicine is fraternal and selfless. We can save more people with it." "That's right. What's the age?" Still holding the stale idea of secret recipe. "Let's carry forward the kindness, Dr. Lu." Another short doctor said with a kind face. Lu Fan sneers. "Ah, moral kidnapping? Will you be afraid of this?" fraternity, and selflessness. Then you have the ability to see a doctor, don't charge, and be selfless with the patient. I tell you, even if I still have the medicine, I won't take it out. You think it's Chinese cabbage. Lu Fan directly opposes Tao. You, what attitude do you have? We're just making a good suggestion. You're not so overbearing. The short doctor seems to have received great grievances. President Lee stopped him and said coldly, "Well, don't talk about it. Since the little comrades refuse to give it, why do you ask for it?" Having said that, Lu Fan could hear the dissatisfaction in President Lee's tone. Just then, a voice of banter came. "Loudly too. I didn't expect that the more you live, the more you go back. You are so shameless. You want secret medicine with others and bully people, right?" Chai Yuqing, who had been ignored just now, came out of nowhere and came here with a gloomy face. Chai Yuqing stares at Dean Li and the other two doctors. His eyes can eat people. Premier Li, who dares to provoke this bodhisattva, laughs and says, "Old Chai, how dare I force Dr. Lu? I just say it casually." Lu Fan smells speech, meaningful of looked at him one eye. This Premier Li is really a dogmatic ah. Chai Yuqing snorted coldly and said, "Dr. Xiao Lu's medical skills are far better than mine. Instead of consulting doctors, you should focus on other people's medicine. It's putting the cart before the horse." President Li and the two doctors were shocked by this. The medical skill is better than Chai Lao. It's deceiving. Although they are established in Western medicine, they are not interested in traditional Chinese medicine. But they know that what traditional Chinese medicine pays attention to is the accumulation of knowledge. How can they dare to treat diseases without decades of experience? Lu Fan looks like he is only 25 years old. How can he be so powerful? The three people's eyes changed when they looked at Lu Fan. Before, they thought that Lu Fan was just lucky to cure Master Yueju. Now his medical skills have been affirmed by Mr. Chai. Even Mr. Chai is ashamed of himself. Laoli too. I dare to say that Dr. Lu's acupuncture technique is top-notch in the world. It can be called resurrection. You don't ask for advice, but you covet the so-called magic medicine here. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Chai Yuqing once again added that he was almost going to hold Lu Fan up to heaven. Premier Li was confused again, which really deified Lu Fan. However, he is also an individual. Naturally, he knows that Chai is under his own steps. He quickly apologizes to Lu Fan. "Dr. Lu, it was definitely a misunderstanding just now. We have absolutely no intention to force it. Please don't take it amiss." His words were sincere. In fact, he didn't dare to be insincere. Mr. Chai was watching. Lu Fan glanced at the three people and saw that the other two doctors looked embarrassed. Dean Li was Alexander, and he was not in the mood to entangle with them. He patted the garbage can next to him and asked, "Can I take away the garbage?" President Li and others, including Chai Yuqing, were stunned by this question. This sudden turn is a pain in the neck. President Li was stunned. Lu Fan seriously explained to the public, "In fact, practicing medicine is my second occupation. What I like to do more is to be an environmental protection ambassador. I have been working hard to promote the secondary utilization of resources. You see, this medicine bottle is big and beautiful. In fact, it still has the value of utilization, doesn't it?" Then he threw the medicine bottle into his garbage bag. Ding! If the host finds a bottle of Madam's oral liquid, 300,000 yuan will be awarded. Look how comfortable and easy the money is. Everyone listened to Lu Fan's explanation and nodded stupidly. When Chai Yuqing heard this, he suddenly felt that he hated iron but not steel. He thought Lu Fan had said before that it was just a joke to let him donate some garbage. Now it's true. It's not a waste of energy to be an environmental protection ambassador with the ability to cure diseases and save people. Well, it's not appropriate to say that playing with things and losing one's will. But the environmental protection ambassador, to put it bluntly, is picking up rags, working hard, and having a brilliant mind. Of course, this kind of words can't be said directly, so he began to coax him. "Xiao Lu, you have such good medical skills. I think it doesn't matter whether the environmental protection ambassador does it or not. Medicine is vast, and there are too many places worth exploring. Why don't you come to my house today and let's discuss?" Chai Yuqing tries to create a kind look on his face. Unexpectedly, Lu Fan had a sense of foreboding that the old man was not serious at first sight, and he had to ask himself to go home. In the past, he had heard that many old men had strange hobbies in college. Picking up his woven bag, Lu Fan stepped back and said stubbornly, "No, it's not delaying me to pick up the garbage. Mr. Chai, I'll see you later." Then he ran away with the woven bag. Lu Fan left in a hurry. He just tasted something new by using acupuncture to save people. He was a little proud. It's the best result to be able to save people. As for the so-called reward, the system father will give it. Does he still care about the big gift? In a hurry, he accidentally bumped into a nurse, and the garbage bag in the nurse's hand flew directly. The mouth of the garbage bag spread, and dozens of masks flew out and spilled on the ground. And the nurse is about to fall to the ground. Lu Fan is quick-eyed, toes twist. The body directly to the nurse. The nurse fell on Lu Fan's chest. After a short period of confusion, the little sister of the nurse screamed and quickly got up. Lu Fan is strong and healthy, but the back of his head is a little painful. At this time, his heart cannot help but want to roar. Heaven, why should I abuse my head so much? Are you okay? The nurse's little sister was wearing a mask and looked at Lu Fan with watery eyes. She was very concerned. Lu Fan shook his head and said with an apologetic smile, "It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm too reckless. After all, I knocked over my mask." Nurse little sister looked at this good-looking young man. His smile is very kind, very sunny. There is a trace of resentment in the heart. She also smiles and lowers her head to pick up the mask. Lu Fan hastened to help and asked, "Are these all rubbish to be thrown away?" The nurse's little sister bent her eyes into a little moon, nodded and said, "Yes, I was just about to throw it, so I ran out of a daredevil." With a smile, Lu Fan was a little embarrassed. "Well, why don't you give it to me? I'm an environmentalist. I'm absolutely professional." Lu Fan pointed to his woven bag and said with a smile. The nurse was obviously stunned, and then her eyes revealed a kind of sadness and disappointment. It's a pity that such a pretty little brother is a rag picker. However, after all, the little brother has a good face, which she cannot refuse. "Good, but these masks are used. Don't use them for other purposes," said the nurse. Lu Fan nodded and put away dozens of masks. Ding! The host picked up 56 masks. Yundao Jade Fu bonus. Reward 1,000 boxes of N95 masks. System Father's voice echoed in Lu Fan's ears for a long time. He realized that there were 1,000 boxes in the woven bag, each of which was more than 1 meter high. How many masks does this have to be? And there are mask standards on the box. It looks very professional. Of course, Lu Fan can't use these masks. Just in front of her, when the nurse was about to leave, Lu Fan grabbed her. "Nurse, I want to donate to the hospital." What do you want to donate?" Nurse Strangeway. She suspected Lu Fan even his own life can't manage. Still donate things? "I have something to give you. Can you come out with me?" Lu Fan said sincerely. The little sister of the nurse was confused and then nodded in a daze. Then she was pulled out of the hospital by Lu Fan. "Don't worry, I'm a good man." Lu Fan explained carefully, but don't do bad things with good intentions. He realized that 1,000 cases of masks all appeared behind 2 small pickup trucks in the parking lot. That's the dead end of surveillance. What are these? The nurse's little sister was stunned, and the cartons everywhere in front of her were all piled up into a warehouse. Lu Fan said with a smile, "These are N95 masks donated by me. They are absolutely standard. Here, the mask. How much does it take you?" "You wait. I'll go to the dean." This is the first time she has seen so many masks. Just now, she thought that this little brother was a garbage collector, but in the twinkling of an eye, people donated so many masks.